Welcome to the Good Karma Sport Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Van Fleet.
And welcome to the Good Karma Success Coach Podcast. I'm your host, Melinda Van Fleet. And you just missed our little pre-warm-up discussion.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
So how are you doing, Captain Ryan?
Yeah, not too bad.
I always love this time of year, heading into July. So happy 4th of July, everyone out there, and thank you.
Yeah, everybody.
To everyone for their service. And if you know someone in the past that helped our country with freedom.
Yes, God bless
much
America.
Appreciated. God bless America. So 2 years ago today, we started our joint podcast together.
Has it been 2 years?
Yeah, it's been 2 years. Isn't that crazy, Train?
Yeah. Yeah, because I've been doing my podcast now for 3 years.
It'll be 3 years in August.
3 years in August.
3 years in August.
Wow. Okay.
And then I always remind myself that 12 years ago, over the 4th of July, was when we went to Isla Mujeres.
Mm-hmm.
And after that vacation, came up with our strategy to move here to the Florida Keys.
Yeah, it's been over 12. It's been over 12.
I know.
Over 12, yeah.
Well, this year's 12 years.
Yeah.
This year's 12 years.
Yep.
So, yeah. Kind of crazy how time goes.
Yeah, time moves.
So
flows.
And when we look at our little dog, Miracle, who's the youngest of our crew, she is turning brown.
I know. It's scary.
Our little black dog is turning brown.
It's like, oh my God.
It's so weird. It's been a couple weeks that we've noticed her fur changing color.
Yeah.
I thought I was losing my mind, and then Ryan noticed it, and I'm like, okay, well, I know it's not just me.
Yeah, I thought she was turning orange.
We're like, what's happening?
It's all the carrots that she eats. Our dogs don't eat,
we don't buy snacks.
We don't buy snacks. They eat carrots and green beans.
Tomatoes.
And tomatoes. They're crazy for tomatoes. They love veggies.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a money-saving tip, or I view it this way, a way for your dogs to be healthier. We have never had any dog issues, knock on wood, and 2 are 11, and well, they're going to be 11, and 1 is going to be 10. You know what? Just give them carrots and green beans and tomatoes and your leftover avocado and chicken, and they're happy as a clam. Like, people spending $10 a pop on dog chewies is like,
yeah, dog treats.
I don't
oh my
get
God, no.
That's
like
Ryan would rather have that money for bait.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Oh my gosh, bait.
So I thought we'd talk about, because it is that time of year for us of renewal, the time of letting go. And I am just on this relationship nugget content sharing kick this week. Everything that's coming to me is about relationships. I have definitely been on a place of just letting some things go. And that, that means some people, some people that have just kind of you're tying up my energy. It's not a collaborative relationship. What's going on? And you know what? There's so much to be said for when you let go of people, or, if you clean your house and you open up the energy in your house, that other magical things will start to happen for you. And I just really believe that. So that's kind of been the theme of my content. And it really does go with the fact of, it's July for us, which is a really amazing time of year. We have a lot going on and a lot to look forward to.
A lot to look forward to. Melinda's right. It's really about just being very open. What's the word for it? I'm trying to think here without sounding too
open to change.
Open to change.
Yeah.
Open to change.
And understanding that you can build your confidence in that direction. Even if you're like, oh, no, I can't. No, you can. You can figure out the way to do it. And if that is working on something and trying to make it better, that's fantastic. And that's obviously the first step. But sometimes that, doesn't work out. It just doesn't.
No.
And you have to cut bait.
Yeah, cut bait.
Get it?
Yes, I get it. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I'm just full of all these like fun facts today, aren't I?
Yes.
I'm on a roll. I've kind of decided that Monday is a great day to record content. It's just a really great day energy-wise. So yeah. So you put your normal podcast on hold.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And it's along that line too.
Yeah.
In terms of just giving a break.
Yep.
In allowing some new energy to flow in, some new ideas, and, kind of reset. You're in a reset.
Yep, I'm in a reset mode right now. And I thought twice about it, but when I first said, hey, I'm going to go into this, something wasn't right with the energy, and I had some things happen out on the water, which I won't get into, and because part of my whole rebuilding process was to not rehash things in the past, which means not to tell the story about them. So when I tell the story, then it just rehashes things. So it's part of my rebuilding process and just moving on. So
I think that's really awesome and that's something that is important for people to realize out there. So if you are someone that when you rehash something, you're going to go through that whole mental cycle again. You're going to go through the mind loops. You're going to get triggered. You're going to get upset, and then you can't shake it. You do have to find a way to move through it faster and let it go faster. Or you might be someone like me that I don't really have all of that. So I can recount a story without energy. I can let things go a little easier, a little quicker, and then recount the story without getting into like a bad energy cycle again.
Right.
And it's just a variance in people. It's a variance in people.
And I'm not like that. I've worked at it, but I'm an extremely sensitive individual some days, and I just cannot rehash something anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And people ask me, people push.
They do. People push because they want the story.
People push
or for their own entertainment.
For their own
whatever.
entertainment. And part of being a fishing guide is being, is the whole entertainment thing sometimes. But I've really gone through a lot with that, where I'm just myself on my fishing trips. I tell people I'm not very good at telling jokes. So
even though you actually are a really funny guy.
But I'm pretty, I have this really really dry, kind of dark sense of humor. And I've just learned to embrace it because that's who I am. And I'm not what's the word for it? I'm not a very I remember when I used to mate on this boat, and the first thing they did was they gave me a joke book. And a joke book. What the hell's that? Oh, you have to learn how to tell these jokes. Because that's what part of being a fishing guide is that you have to learn how to entertain when the fishing's slow. And I was like, well, I'm not going to tell any jokes. I'm a really shitty joke teller. I'm really bad at it. So I'm like, that isn't going to be me. I'm not going to learn how to tell a joke. Because I've never been like that. I've just always had this really, if something comes out, it's usually pretty dry and
sometimes snarky.
That's just how I am. I've embraced that. I've had to learn how to tone it down. So can you imagine?
You guys have no idea.
Getting this they handed me a joke book. And I'm like, oh, this isn't going to fly. This isn't going to fly. And with fishing, it's tough. You have to learn how to catch fish, and it's tougher. So, and instead of telling a shitty joke.
God, I remember when I was a buyer at Target, and Target is just an amazing place to work, and I don't mean that in mispositive sense, actually. I mean it more from an eye-opening experience about corporate America. And I remember my boss coming to me and telling me I had to play games with the team at lunch. It's called Fast, Fun, and Friendly. And you were forced to play games with everybody at lunch in the lunchroom. And I have never liked playing games. There's only a few games I like. Tripoli. That's probably the only game I can think of.
Yeah, I hate games.
And Ryan hates games. So
I
when
do not
we
like
met
games.
and we realized we both hated games, we were like, oh my God, match made in heaven, you're my soulmate. Because a majority of people like to play games. And I just never, ever have. You can ask my family. And I remember my boss, Lori, coming to my desk and saying, if you don't come and play these games, you're not going to make senior buyer. And I looked at her right in the face and I said, you know what? Then I guess I'm not going to make senior buyer. She didn't like that too much. But it's true. Like, if you don't like to tell jokes, if you don't like to play games, you have to do what feels good to you. And what's unfortunate about a situation like that is not recognizing that everyone has different skill sets.
Right.
And get different strengths and weaknesses, which is why I think, when we started on this bit of a conversation here, my mind was going to the fact that we have done a really awesome job over the years in understanding and seeing ourselves as others from what our skill sets are and what our gifts are, or what are things that, you may think sometimes that being like emotional more than me is a bad thing. It's actually a great thing. And recognizing that and celebrating that in each other, and coming from a place of compassion and not judging or being annoyed or ticked off. And I think that is missing out there with a lot of couples. It really is.
Yeah.
It's going, okay, no, this is how I'm wired.
Right.
And it's likely not going to fully change. Yes, there's some adaptability that could happen as everyone learns and grows and evolves, but you're not going to fully change that. Just like I'm not going to fully change some innate qualities that I was born with.
Right.
That's how I was built from God, from whatever your belief system is. You can bring it any which way you want on that one. But yeah, it's how it is. It's how it is, people. And I'm 50 years old, and it's probably not going to change. So, right?
Right. I'm with you. That's what I say. It's why I run my charter program how I feel it needs to be run. So like I'm not. You're
a hardcore fisherman. You're a hardcore guide. If that's not your thing, and you've said from the beginning, if you want to come on a charter boat and sit in the air-conditioned cuddy, then I'm not the charter for you.
Right. And
there's plenty of those.
Yeah,
have at it. Have fun. And give some other people some business. That's fantastic.
That's great. And I tell clients it is what they put into it as well. That's how I run my trips. It's not it's fishing, and in the end, you're going to learn something, and that's that. So there's all sorts of fishing charters down here, all sorts. So
fill your boots.
Yeah, that's it.
Have fun. Yeah,
have fun.
That's good.
So I just run mine a little different.
Yes, you do. So is there anything else you want to say to these amazing listeners besides thank you for listening and have a beautiful rest of your 4th of July weekend? Yeah,
I appreciate, like I said, I'm taking some time off on my podcast, and I'm happy that I'm doing that because I'm just recharging and getting ready for coming back in July. July is kind of I've always looked at, like, for the past couple of years, June as being kind of super busy for me. And June's been really busy for me, but this June's a little different. I don't know what it is. And I do believe in a higher power out there. And for some reason, I haven't felt June like I usually do, but I'm feeling more July. I'm feeling more August. I'm feeling more September. I'm feeling more fall than I have in the past. So the fish migrations have changed a lot. I see a lot of changes out there, and it's just a lot of gut feeling. And that's how I run, myself. So that's how I work with the podcast. Everything's just kind of different, and I just got to let things roll a little bit more. I got to let things even out with me, and just kind of get regrounded. And I'm looking at July a lot differently than I did last year. I'm putting some new things in place, and things are taking a little time, and So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Gotcha.
So-
Well, last June, just to refresh, you worked every single day.
Yep, I worked every single day last
We
June.
just opened up after COVID, and you had every day booked, and the weather was good every freaking day.
Yeah.
It was a crazy month. It was absolutely insane. And then for the 4th of July, we buckled down on getting courses put together.
Yep, and then the 4th of July weekend I did courses.
And then after
So
that, it became kind of normal. And then August was when all the crazy weather started, this weather pattern that we still are in.
yeah, we're still in it. Yeah.
This weather pattern. It'll be a year of this weather pattern.
Right. And one thing I've done too is that worked in, I'm just kind of extending this a little bit, is that it is what it is with the weather. I was getting pretty testy with it,
Just a little bit.
and it was coming out in different ways, and it was really starting to affect me in more ways than just like that I can explain. So I'm just, we're in a really funky weather pattern now, and there's people down here that are like messaging me and say, "Hey, we can't get out. What do we do?" And I was like, I wish I could help you, but they got their own boats down here, and they've been buying all the stuff, getting ready, and typically this time of year is nice. I mean, it has been for the past 2 years, but it's funky out there right now. So
there's no magic answer.
There's no magic answer. There's no magic answer, and it is what it is. So there's just a lot more stuff going on. So I'm just kind of taking a little step back. If the weather's not good, we're not going. I don't like to put I've got some really good guys that have been following me for a while, and we were talking last night, and I go, the thing is, there's a lot of kids that are fishing with me this time of year, and I don't like to put those kids through torture. So I see it's just fishing in 4-foot seas for a little kid can be pretty tough. They just don't do well.
I don't even like to look at that.
Yeah. So just taking a break and fishing when it's nice, and then getting recharged, and I'm just trying to put my fingers on what I'm feeling for this summer.
Gotcha.
So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not worried. I know it all works out. So.
Always does.
Yes. And if you haven't listened to my 2 podcasts on knowing, which were the 2 weeks prior to this, check those podcasts out. And again, thank you for listening. You can connect with me on all the socials and also goodkarmasuccesscoach.com. I am super excited for my second book to come out July 28th, Life and Love Lessons, How to Discover Confidence Through Your Spiritual Journey. And Ryan started reading it. What do you think?
I think it's really good. And number one, it doesn't have me in it.
It really doesn't. So
yeah, it doesn't have me in it.
It doesn't. It just maybe one section. I don't know if you've gotten to that yet. One section that's just part of the story, but it's nothing like the first book at all. It's very different. And if you are into law of attraction, manifestation, energy, mindset, encompassing with tools and modalities and different teachers that you can learn from, you will love this book because it's the real deal. It's not just another book telling you all the same stuff you've heard before. So it is stuff where you hopefully go, oh my gosh, wow, I get it. Or I've been doing that wrong, or I could be doing it this way, or I hadn't thought about that, or whatever, all the different things people can think of. So check it out and get on my email list, and I'm super excited. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys. Everybody have a great 4th of July. And
stay safe out there. Please drive safely.
Stay safe out there.
Vote safely. Drive safely.
A little different.
All right. What do you got to say?
Yeah. Guys, have a good one. Remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good.
Thanks for listening.